So I've asked you this before. If ignorance is bliss, why aren't there more happy people? Sometimes in life, Dieter Hessel wrote, we foster the illusion that we are free individuals, independent of social formation. We actually come to think that we believe something because it is true, because we have reasoned it out for ourselves, and not because it is a construct of the prevailing mores, the culture in which we live, and without which we would be as lost as sheep and scared as rabbits in an open field. As Sam Keen so astutely observed, we are utterly dependent on other people. One of the great challenges in our highly individualized system of life is to promote social responsibility and love for neighbor. Life experience just doesn't teach us to do these things. It teaches us to follow them like cattle, to envy them, to compete with them, but not to love them. This is where religion comes in, or does not come in, depending on one's position in all of this. In his book called Social Ministry, Hessel wrote, liturgy either domesticates or it liberates. By this, I think he meant that religion either perpetuates the deep-seated norms of our culture, or it challenges us to look deeper, love stronger, boldly go where few have gone before. Our chosen faith either lulls us to sleep or wakes us up. Carl Jung, discussing belief versus experience, said a religious package accepted uncritically, wholly and entirely without reason, may be someday just as quickly put down. That is what happened to me. After being challenged in my higher education to prove myself, to support those uncritical religious beliefs with reason and evidence, to show my work in mathematical terms, I very quickly decided that I would no longer accept anything at face value simply because I had grown up believing it. And what churches are providing today, Carl Jung asserted, is an uncritical package. Religion is no longer based on experience. John A.T. Robinson reflected on his experiences as an Anglican bishop when he wrote, "It is the things one doesn't believe and finds one doesn't have to believe, which are as liberating as the things one does believe." That is why I take such joy in being introduced to songs like God Is In. It's the kind of message that has the potential to wake somebody up. You know, I was first introduced to this song by Gail Ziegler. Oh, yeah. And it's to her I dedicate this talk this morning. She said one time she thought it might be useful in a worship service. I remember responding to her after hearing it that what I thought is that it is a worship service. God is in the child's eyes. God is in each snowflake. God is in the trees and air, the clouds above, each act of love. Are you starting to fall asleep yet? Wait a minute. Soon we get a clue that something isn't normal here. God is in the ocean deep, Some say God goes there to sleep. Unorthodox. God is in your strangest pleasure. What does that mean? Wake up, he sings. God is into body piercing. God is in your new tattoo. There's a bold and liberal spin. God is in the latest fad except for bungee jumping. That's dangerous and bad. Now, if this God story is getting too scary, tell me and I'll stop, because I love you very much. When I was back in seminary so many lifetimes ago, we had our own version of God is in, only it wasn't a song. One of my professors had the good sense to require his students to read Bishop Robinson's little confessional called Honest to God. It was life-altering. He opened his preface in the book with this sentence: "It belongs to the office of a bishop in the church to be a guardian and defender of its doctrine." By the end of that first page, he was writing this: "I can understand what those people mean who urge that we should give up using the word God for a generation. So impregnated has it become with a way of thinking we may have to discard if the gospel is to mean anything." Robinson confessed that whenever he listened to a broadcast between a Christian and a humanist, he found himself most often sympathizing with the humanist. If the Christian church had followed the lead of Robinson and others, quote, "those who feel compelled to be honest wherever it may lead them," end quote, we would be the mainstream. Here is our horror story. We are children growing up in a so-called Christian culture, and strange people tell us God is watching with these great big eyeballs. We go to church to find out more, but find it all so dark and mysterious, like a basement. There are eyeballs staring at us everywhere. God is watching up that stairway. You are bad, and he will punish you. The preachers and teachers jump out with their God masks. Red beams of light shoot from their eyes. God loves you, but you must obey. Shall we turn the page, or is it too scary? One day, if they don't scare the bejesus out of you, we realize that sometimes people just get stuck in their God masks. And they need a lot of help to get them off. And we get stuck in our masks too. We find out there are lots of masks. God is in the Christian house. God is in the Jewish home. God is in the Muslim, in the Hindu way. God is in those dancing pagans, Wiccan covens, Druids song, Buddhist chair, Vatican and Quaker meeting. God is in the atheist, the flowing Tao and Rastaman, Muni, Hare Krishna. God is in. God is in. God is in. So many masks. People all over the world getting stuck in their masks and forgetting that every day is Halloween. Quote, "If on our daily course our mind is set to hallow all we find." This line is from an English poet and priest, John Keble. The 1827 quote conveys the idea of approaching daily life with a focus on making everything holy and sacred. His poems often reflect on nature as a way to understand spiritual truths. You see, the original stories, the aboriginal stories of life, were told when the earth was flat and the lights were dim and there were not so many distractions. Julian Huxley once wrote that God is beginning to resemble not a ruler, but the last fading smile of a Cheshire cat. Woody Allen said, not only is there no God, but try getting a plumber on Sunday. And if there is a God, he said, clearly this God is an underachiever. What Bishop Robinson hoped to do with his little book and could not do in the established orthodoxy of his Christian church, what Unitarianism and Universalism hoped to accomplish through their history, was to get people to grab hold of the truth beneath the language. But we get stuck in our masks. We get stuck on words. I'm always sharing my favorite quote about religion from Warren McCulloch, a fascinating character, and I'm going to do a service on him soon. We share a birthday. He said, "Don't bite my finger. Look where I'm pointing." And at the heart of the matter, when it comes to religion or faith or morality or an upright life, the heart of the matter is what? Love. The lived experience of love. A life together. Bishop Robinson explained that this is what his favorite theologian, Paul Tillich, was saying when he called God the ground of our very being. God is not up there in heaven, he said, and God is not out there beyond space. Quoting Tillich, and if that word, God, has not much meaning for you, translate it. And speak of the depth of your life, of the source of your being, of your ultimate concern, of what you take seriously without any reservation. Perhaps, in order to do so, you must forget everything that you have learned about God, even that word itself. Say, were you wondering if God was God's real name? I did too, so I asked them. God smiled like a comic Cheshire cat and said, I thought a smart person like you would have figured it out. G-O-D spelled backward is dog. I guess I'm not that smart, but you are.